Hi, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel. And today I'd like to talk about how to explain manifesting or how it actually works. The reason I bring this topic up is because over the years it had been described to me in so many different ways. And the way that it's described I feel is very important. And it's very easily to believe that it works one way when it really works another. Specifically in my case, I had gone through many different styles of beliefs since I first began, and now I've come to a conclusion in myself that I found what I believe works best through perceiving how other people manifest and to perceive how I manifest as well. Over the time, as you persist in this journey, you will definitely get a better understanding of it. And so this is the way that I'm going to explain it. Manifestation, or generally this world that we live in, this objective reality, this 3D physical world that we live in, is a sum total of manifestations from us. So the way that I perceive it is that every single thing that enters into the subconscious mind is then at a certain point in time manifested in this world. Now, what I've learned over time is that there's no telling when or how a manifestation is going to come to pass. This is after practicing and testing this for many, many years. I've come to the conclusion that I am not in control over when something manifests. But what I am in control of is how to actually manifest something, right? And how to identify when something is being manifested. So generally the way that I like to look at everything is by patterns. I'm very, very big at testing because when you test something yourself, you can prove it to yourself. And there's a lot of fear, for me anyway, I'll speak about my journey, is I had a lot of fear that perhaps things, like I can only manifest a certain amount of things, I could only manifest sometimes, and sometimes I could not manifest things. Many other various beliefs that just came into my mind over periods of time, either through what I have or what I've heard of other people say, or through just fears that just come into the mind. Well, like very often, we tend to personify how manifesting works. We tend to attribute human characteristics to manifesting, such as limits, or how many times I can manifest, or how many different things can I imagine at one time, or what is possible in general. So, being that we are rooted in this carnal world, this physical world, and we live in a certain time and space in the 21st century when science is dominant and rules everything, that it's understandable and completely obvious why we would attribute different scientific things or reason or logic to manifesting. But as I said, over the time, over the years and years of testing this over and over and over again, running through different trains of thoughts, different ideas, different techniques, I got a better grip on the idea that the limits that I placed on manifesting those limits were imposed upon me. But when I removed those limits, when I stopped applying science and all of these things, personification to the act of manifesting, that's when all of the limits were lifted, and I was then able to do whatever I wanted. So, again, I look at the subconscious mind as a fertile ground, right? And that all of the things that go into my subconscious are seeds being planted. So, I don't know how long it's going to take for the specific type of seed to grow, because that's just not something I know with my physical mind, with my carnal mind. But I do know that every seed that I plant will ripen and it will flower. So what we do then is we in order to create seeds to grow, what we have to do then is control what we allow into our mind. If we, say for example, are only rooted in this carnal world, if we don't daydream, if we don't imagine, if we don't think of the future in any type of way, if we only saw and let into our mind the things that we see, feel, taste, touch, and hear, then we would copy that exactly. That would be exactly what would be copied, right? Because each of those things, anything that catches my attention, anything that I emotionally react to in any way, good, bad, or indifferent, that will create a seed. The seed will be dropped into the subconscious mind, and then it will take root and flower eventually. And the way that I look at the seeds is that inside that seed is the whole plan of manifestation. So what I would do is I want to replace this physical reality with my imagination, because we are so lucky and so blessed to have an imagination. The imagination replaces or supplants this carnal world, this physical reality, the logic, the statistics. All things are possible to the human imagination, right? All things are possible to the human imagination. And we replace in our imagination this physical world with the thing that we want. So if you want to plant a seed that will ripen and flower, then what we've got to do is define the end result of what we want. The reason we define the end result is because it includes the end in full fruition, and it includes everything in between, but we don't have to decide that, right? All we have to decide is the end result. When we decide the end result, we imagine it in first-person point of view. And the reason we choose first-person point of view is because this subconscious will replicate in the exact nature what we have imagined or what we see in this physical world. So if we want to imagine ourselves receiving money, for instance, we would want to construct a scene of the end result of receiving the money, holding it in our hands, or the check, or looking at our bank balance to see the amount of money that we have, as if we already have it. And the reason that we do this is because, like I said, in that seed, right? So if I imagine right now that I'm looking at my bank balance and I see $1 million, I add all of the sensory vividness as if I'm really experiencing it. That includes what I see, feel, taste, touch. What would I be saying? What would I be thinking? The whole art of imagining or constructing imaginal scenes has to do with replicating what it would be like if I was now there. We want to trap in that seed. We want to create a seed of the exact likeness of what it would be if we were now that person, if we now had received that money, if we now were with that specific person. Because when we plant that seed in our subconscious mind, by dwelling in there, dwelling in the imaginal scene, creating all the tones of reality, completely replacing this reality, that's when it plants a seed, and then in that seed is contained everything that it will take in order for you to end up at the end result. So we never have to figure out how we're going to get it. We never have to figure out what we need to do. We never have to think about the things in the way. When you manifest, you will notice that you will end up bumping into your manifestation, or it will come directly to you. This proves that we do not need to devise the means. And this also proves, like if you've noticed, when you manifest something, your awareness directly goes to the thing that you have imagined. This proves to you that it's in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is moving you to the end. And when you plant a seed, it will also go into the other person's subconscious mind So that way they can bring you the thing that you've imagined, right? So this is how to prove that it's through your subconscious mind all action is taken. And the interesting thing about this is that if you imagine, for instance, that someone texts you or that an old friend reaches out to you, the thought will go into their mind, but it's as if it was their very own thought, right? Some thought out of the subconscious goes into their analytical mind and they decide to take an action to call you. Whatever it may be, whatever thought it may be, right? And the other thing that's interesting is that you can imagine something and immediately on the other side of the world, a person can act out your manifestation instantly. And I mean no delay, no seconds in between, which proves that it's not through this time and space that manifestation unfolds. It's through something else where we're all connected. We're all connected with no space in between us. There's no time and space between whatever it is that manifests, whatever it is that interacts with our subconscious mind. So these are just a few ideas of how manifesting actually works through the subconscious mind and through seeds. So anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, scroll down, subscribe, go to the bell icon, sign up for my mailing list, register to sovereignmind.com so you can get unlisted videos and content from me. And thank you so much for watching.